Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a simple rule. When someone steps on stage, you greet him with a loud, loud, loud round of applause. Can we hear that once, please? Thank you very much. As I always love to say, the first is for free, the second has to be earned. However, that you know what we've been up to the last couple of months, we've prepared a lovely little video for you to settle in and enjoy the ride. Please. Thank you very much. So I'm Daniel, I'm the host for tonight, and I'd like to welcome you all to this lovely evening. Tonight we're going to look at the Factory1 Demo Day. Of course, welcome to you, and of course, welcome to Mr. Georg Kapsch, the CEO of Kapsch Group. That's the part where you also welcome him, please. Good. There he is. And before we get kicking, I'd just like to have one simple question. Who of you attended the winner's ceremony back a couple of months ago? Who is that? Raise your hand. Okay, that's about 25%. Okay. Who of you is not hot and sweaty? Good, that's 100% of you are hot and sweaty. I can also say that means you're probably very excited. That's going to be a fun evening tonight. We've got 5 different startups presenting what they've been up to for the last 4 months. However, there's obviously someone a lot more qualified than me. By the way, it's a hilarious sight looking at all of you going like, it's really funny. The whole audience seems to be moving. That's quite funny. However, there's someone way more qualified than me to actually welcome you. I've said hello to him already. Here he is, the CEO. Welcome on stage, Mr. Georg Kapsch. Stage is yours.
Thank you. Well, good evening. Late afternoon, early evening. Welcome to everybody here in Vienna. Well, this is an ancient building, therefore no air condition, and it's not built for hot days. But anyway, doing business means always being in hot environments and sweating. And sometimes there might even be some tears, but most of the time there is laughing. And that's what we should do tonight. And I really appreciate very much having all of you here and seeing this video. I would have loved to join you, but in the meantime, my colleagues and myself had to earn money in order to be able to finance this program. Welcome. So, there. Of course, I received reports all the month through, and I received reports from what happened in California, and I can imagine many of you have been in California before, but maybe one or the other has not been there. So I think this is a real experience. When I went to Facebook, to Google, frankly speaking, I don't love these guys. I don't even like these guys, but it's fantastic seeing what they do. Anyway, so, you know, we are an industrial enterprise, but anyway, we are open for everything. So we are open for the world. We are open what's going on in different industries in this world. And we are always targeting innovation. And therefore, this program is of huge importance to all of us. And it has advantages for both, for the startups as well as for Kapsch. The importance is to get new insights and different perspectives on what mobility could be all about in the future. Because we think we know what ability could be all about in the future. But during Factory1, we learned lots of additional things about mobility. And you can help us to improve our knowledge, and you even can improve our way of thinking and our way of working. You know, when you get a bit older, and this applies to companies as well as to individuals, you get a bit risk averse. And you always have to be reminded that you should take risk till the end of your life, till the end of the life of the company, because each and every company sooner or later dies. Hopefully not during my lifetime. So, but, well, including the next generation as well. And being always at the edge of technology, being at the edge of new emerging business models means to feel life, to feel the environment, and to feel and to create new friendships all around the globe. When my brother and I started to work in this company, we were dreaming of making it a global enterprise and to becoming a market leader in at least one market segment. And that's what we achieved. But anyway, there are lots of new goals, there are lots of challenges, and there are lots of dreams ahead of us. And you are supporting us to realize and to be able to realize these dreams. And tonight we'll see what you have done over the last couple of months. Your POCs in different countries, in different constellations, and we are keen now to listen to you. But please always be aware that this is not a fake, this is not just for the sake of itself, this is not just for fun, but this is to strengthen our vision and to strengthen our strategy. So let's listen to the startups tonight, and let's just enjoy the evening. Because without enjoying successes, without enjoying looking into the future, life is not a joy at all. So anyway, I want to get this feeling tonight with you. Enjoy it, and see you later on the stage. Thank you.
I told you he's way more qualified than me to open this. That's a lot of passion. I love this. Now, we've been talking already about, we had some glimpses of the program, and we heard there was something going on the last few months. However, we want to find out a little more. And for that, I'd like to ask the program lead of Factory1 to join me on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Simrit Sandhu. Welcome on stage.
My micro work? Yes.
It does. How
Great.
are you doing?
I'm good. Much better now, obviously.
It's a bit hot, isn't it?
It is warm, yeah. But we'll have a break and ice cream at the break, so.
Ice cream? There's always like ice cream?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's always, ice cream
You're
always.
taken care of.
Ice cream makes the world a lot better, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
So I just mentioned, how were the last couple of months? What happened?
Great fun. A lot of fun. We had and we built great relationships, as Mr. Kapsch already said. It's all about relationships and growing. So I think the best phase was a couple of months into the project when we started to realize how different our views were and where the traction began. Without traction, there is no acceleration. So that was great.
That sounds promising. Tell me, what was your own personal highlight? What was like the best thing?
I think the informal interactions were the best, where you look into the eyes of the other person and you just take the other person as a human being, not only as a business opportunity. So that was great. We are looking forward to keeping in touch with the startups, obviously, not just because we have a customer project coming up, but also because we became great friends.
And informal interactions means there was a lot of fun and games afterwards, and a couple of drinks as well,
You'll
I guess.
see tonight.
Oh, good. So there is an after party already.
Yes.
We'll talk about later. Don't get too carried away. However, what's happening tonight?
So, the highlight tonight will be the POC pitches or the presentations because they are not limited on time. And today we actually thought a lot of people here are from the startup scene and a lot of pitches have been heard up until now. And a lot of people talk about what they're doing. But I think it's very important to realize that there is a bigger reason behind the things that we do. And there is always a why. So we are starting with the why tonight. We asked our jury members who were the ones that selected the startups together with the program committee for this program. And they will tell you a little bit about why we chose this startup, what the strategic pain points were. And then our lead mentors who've been supporting the startup throughout this couple of weeks will tell you about what they were working on and how they thought the startup might fit in. And then the startup will come and tell us what they did.
So classic why, how, what, like Simon Sinek would do it.
Correct. Don't tell him.
No, I'm a big fan. Last question, what's the POC? You mentioned the POC.
Yeah. POC is a magical thing. We have a limited budget, limited time, and a goal. And this is the project that we do together with a startup, with a very selected business unit. And they have a goal, and if they achieve it, then it's a successful proof of concept. And if it's good for a bigger use case, then we're happy to do business with them. Yeah?
That sounds fantastic.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Will we have a look at them?
Yes, have fun.
Let's do
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Oh, sure.
Sure.
Well, normally, at the someone says thank you very much at the end, but saying thank you in the beginning of an evening is better because then you can enjoy the entire evening in a better way. And I would like to take the opportunity to thank you on behalf of the entire team who has made this possible. Okay?
Yeah, it's the team, obviously, but thank you. I'll take it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
In both cases, you lead by example. No pressure on the other ones pitching, but you see how it can be done. So we've seen it. We have a very special way of approaching this. It's warm. We're excited. You're still all kind of working away like this. So let's get to the very first startup. And again, we'll have jury first, then mentor, and then startup. You'll get the hang of it. It's a very smart move. However, here's the first startup, or we'll start with the first startup. It's called Exeon Analytics. And for that, I would like to welcome the first jury member on stage. And his name is Jochen Borenich. Please welcome on stage to Jochen Borenich. There he is. Welcome on stage.
Obviously, I'm the why guy. I will tell you why we are doing this. My name is Jochen Borenich. I'm a board member of Kapsch BusinessCom. Let me give you just a short perspective why we are focusing on security. Kapsch BusinessCom formerly mainly delivered projects. But in the next phase, and especially during the last 10 years, we also delivered a complete outsourcing project, meaning that, I hope the next slide would come, meaning that we became the leading ICT service provider. And now we're also on the way to become the leading digitalization partner for our customers. And when you look at this history, now managing critical infrastructures, operating systems, means also to have a trustful relationship with our customers, and this is our responsibility to take care of the data. And also when we talk about digital solutions, especially let's take the health sector or other industries. And therefore, security is not just a portfolio element for us. Security is really the foundation. And part of every project that we are delivering to our customers. And if you look at the area of security, this is the most dynamic and most challenging area. It's more or less an endless cat and mouse game that we're playing, and therefore I'm very thankful and glad that we had the opportunity that Sinan and our security team had the possibility to talk to Exeon Analytics, and I would like to hand over the mic to Sinan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jochen. Talking about security at Kapsch BusinessCom, we are talking about security in 3 areas. First, what we do in our customer projects, we audit customers. That means our experts visit customers, they screen their IT environment, they screen their personal staffing, their rules, and give some audit reports about the security situation on our customer side. This is the very first step very often in our customer projects. Second, what we do, we provide security solutions. We design them, we develop them, sometimes we create them, and we provide security solutions based on hardware and software for our customers. The third area of security, and this is the most comprehensive one, is our Cyber Defense Center. Our Cyber Defense Center is for customers who trust us that much that they do outsource all their security issues to us, so that we as Kapsch take responsibility for all their IT security 24/7. We have security experts from all over the world which take responsibility 24/7 the whole year about the IT environments of our customers. And talking with them, with those experts, very often we get the feedback that times are changing. We have some global megatrends which have a huge impact on security and IT behavior within the last years and what we see for the next years. The first, we have an immense increase of data and traffic. We all know the charts with exponential increasement of data and traffic. Second, we have what we call as no alternative to online. Through digitization, ever more business moves from offline to online, which means that our customers cannot afford getting offline. This was an option probably a decade ago. Currently, getting offline is for most of our customers not an option. In general, that results in new challenges for security. That means we have to fight, we have to struggle with finding the right resources. We need ever more staff to control and screen those networks. And we need to be faster evolving with those challenges. One way of leveraging our own capabilities seems to be machine learning. We are quite sure that machine learning will give us a couple of opportunities to face those challenges. And one startup who has been smart enough to start using machine learning a couple of years ago is Exeon Analytics. And I would like to introduce Carola and David, who had the idea of using machine learning for network screening a couple of years ago, and who are now supporting us in the POC with their Exeon Trace solution.
Thank you for the nice introduction, Sinan. So you mentioned large amounts of data. Maybe let me provide some numbers such that we can imagine something behind that. What you see here are statistics from one of the analyzed networks. We have around 20,000 internal clients, so these are workstations, employees, servers, communicating, and these cause in total about 50 million interactions to 100,000 servers somewhere in the internet. And as you can imagine, that's a huge amount of data. And now what will happen in the future, according to studies, is that approximately every year, companies will double the amount of data which they process, so these numbers, they will increase a lot. The problem is now that this makes it quite easy for cyber attackers, because they can easily hide their breaches among all these regular interactions. And we need to find a way to handle with this increasing amount of data in order to fight such cyber attacks. In Switzerland, there's, unfortunately, I have to say, an infamous example of what can happen. So the Swiss defense company RUAG, and they are offering, or they used to offer cybersecurity services to their customers themselves. They were hacked. What happened is that attackers were in the network for about 1 year. They stole about 20 gigabytes of data. Among this data was the personal information of all employees of the Swiss Department of Defense, and this data was just sent to a server somewhere in the web. About 1 year later, they were noticed that this data was found, and only then they realized that they had been hacked and that this data was actually being sent somewhere to the internet. What we do with Exeon Analytics is we apply machine learning and big data to detect exactly such cyber attacks. Let me provide an example so that you can better imagine what we are doing. So, as I said before, in every corporate network, we have different kinds of devices. So we have employees with their workstations, we have servers hosting databases, maybe we will even have connected coffee machines, and so on. The problem is it's really difficult to keep the overview over these devices and also understand what they are doing. So imagine if we only had one device which we need to secure. Let's stick with the example of the coffee machine. Then it would be quite easy, because a human could just look at the activities, and as soon as a coffee machine would start to send a lot of data to the outside, to the internet, something would be strange, right? Because a coffee machine, there's no data on it that should be sent to the outside. So it's quite easy to do this kind of analysis if there's only one device. But and maybe also for 10 devices, this still works because you can manually check it, or even for 100 devices. But as I mentioned before, nowadays we have thousands or even 10,000 devices in corporate networks, meaning we can no longer do this analysis manually. What we do with our machine learning is more or less the same process. So we check how a device is supposed to behave, and as soon as there's a deviation from this baseline, we raise corresponding alerts. And this allows us to find such hidden cyber attacks, similar to finding the so-called needle in a haystack. Currently, the detection time for cyber attacks is almost 200 days. We showed in projects that we can detect the attack as the one against RUAG, which I mentioned, in 1 day, which increases the security a lot. Now, what were we doing in this proof of concept? So we checked how Exeon Trace can complement the existing cyber defense center employees that are working there and doing most of the analysis manually. So basically, we checked what can Exeon Trace find in the data, and how can we basically, in an automated way, create insights into the data that are available in the Cyber Defense Center. In order to show you how this could look like, I will present an example from our lab. Here I focus on an example, and this is the Net Traveler malware. And the statistics behind this malware are actually quite impressive. So the malware was active since 2005, and in this case it was not 1 year, but it was 8 years until for the first time somebody detected that this malware was in a corporate network and was actually stealing data. With our software, that's again a case where we can detect the corresponding malware activity within 1 day. And what you can see on this slide here is basically our Exeon Trace front end with the corresponding alert. we would display this alert to the Cyber Defense Center analysts, and from there they can take over and further investigate what is actually happening on this suspicious workstation.
Thank you. So coming to the learnings from the POC. We've been thinking about the outcomes and the report, and everything is quite complicated, as we would say in Austria. And the bad news is, towards David, it won't be the situation that we will have Exeon Trace, that one machine learning-based magic solution doing all the security. On the other side, we have our Cyber Defense Center with our experts with years of experience, which are best of breed in several areas. The bad news is we will not be able to say this is the setup which will work for the next decades. What we have seen is if we want to face those challenges with increase of traffic and data, with the resource challenge, that a hybrid system will be that way of security solutions, architecture, which will guide us through the future. We will need, like we have in our Kapsch Cyber Defense Center, the best experts with their expertise to be able to manage complicated situations. But to leverage them and their capabilities to face that new challenges, we will need ever better assisting systems like Exeon Trace is. We will need machine learning and artificial intelligence-based systems to assist our experts. This is our main one learning from the POC. And what are we doing with this learning? We are thinking about the post-acceleration phase. So we are thinking about how to cooperate with Exeon Analytics in 3 areas. The first area, this will be the best we can achieve, is to integrate the whole Exeon Trace solution in our Cyber Defense Center so that customers, our cybersecurity CDC customers, can utilize that solution. Second, we would like to expand our security service portfolio, like auditing with the Exeon Trace tools, which will make it for us easier and faster to do our audits. And third, we would appreciate expanding our customer base, because Exeon Analytics has some very valuable reference projects, especially in the financial industry, which is one of the most challenging industries related to security. So what we all can say, I think, is no matter how we will move on, it's still in discussion, it's still in progress, but as Kapsch, we have learned to work with small and very passionate teams, and I think Exeon has learned to cooperate with experienced experts in a big IT company, and that's what, on all sides, I think where we'll have the appreciation. So thank you for this chance.
Thank you. Jetzt gibt es noch ein Bild, oder?
Thank you very much, gentlemen. That was number 1. We've got 4 to go, and just that you're aware of it, after the 3rd, we're going to offer you a 15-minute break to hydrate, which is a good idea tonight, and have ice cream, ideally both. But that's optional, that's down to you. But you're all grown-ups, you know what to do. So, let's move on to the second company, and that's called Aerostate. And as done previously, I would like to get the member of the jury on stage, and his name is Emilio Rivas. Here he is. Welcome on stage, Emilio.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be here with you tonight, this evening. Talking about the strategy. 4 years ago, when we set the strategy 2020, we decided to move the business from our traditional business, highways related, into the cities, because we see the potential related to the cities. And that's why 3 years ago, we acquired Telven. It's a Spanish company that was integrated into the Kapsch family 3 years ago, and with a very strong footprint related to cities, urban traffic environment. Thank you. And why? Because we have this vision and this mission to create or to develop or move, people from one point to another in a faster, cheaper, and safer way, but also with less environmental impact. And that missing link is the one that we found with Aerostate when we started this program related to Factory1. Because Aerostate, that is the company that will be presented now, is this missing link that could or can link between the data related to environmental impact with the city itself. So we found this link between both worlds that can allow us to manage the traffic to reduce the environmental impact into the city. So to get into details, I will invite you, Steve, Liz, or Steve, to the stage to get deeper into POC.
Thank you, Emilio. Good evening, everyone. Okay, so if we want to manage air pollution, we need to manage traffic in the cities because that's one of the main sources. And we have a tool to manage traffic in the cities. It's called EcoTraffics. EcoTraffics is a map-based integrated platform that enables local authorities, local mobility authorities, to have a common view of the situation and to coordinate actions with other stakeholders. EcoTraffics has been developed during the last 9 years, fully in the house. And I say during because it's constantly being enhanced and updated and enriched with new features. It started working in cities about 7 or 8 years ago, and it is now running in 17 cities in 3 continents. Now, we can see here one of the operators' view of EcoTraffics. So you can see operators can have a view of how the traffic density is in the main roads, but they can also access detailed information about how is the traffic flow in a specific stretch of road or the details of an incident that happened. They, of course, have a menu to choose what they want to see at each moment. It could be cameras, dynamic message signal, or the timing in a traffic intersection, and they can have the information to all of this. So they can see everything that is happening in the streets related to traffic, right? Well, everything but the air pollution. And now in this proof of concept, together with Aerostate, we've solved that. Aerostate is a startup by a group of experts in atmospheric science. And we have added, with their help, an additional layer on the map, a color layer that indicates, that gives an idea of the air quality throughout the city, depending on the concentration of the different pollutants. The color can be from blue, for good air quality, to green, yellow, orange, and red for the unhealthy situations. And operators can see it now and the forecast as well. How is it going to evolve? And we also, to get full advantage of Aerostate's potential, we also added a tab there that allows operators to do a detailed analysis of how the evolution of the air pollution is going to be, and the different pollutants, how they're going to be distributed throughout the city. And to explain a little bit more about what they do and who they are, please let me welcome Evgeny, one of the co-founders of Aerostate, to the stage.
Yeah, hello and thank you. My name is Evgeny, one of the co-founders of Aerostate. Speaking a little bit about the team, we originally founded the startup in the United States, but we are originally from Russia. We were the spin-off of one of the University of Russia Academy of Science, and this is why we're expert in this area. We have 3 PhDs in the team, and in the common work, we have 30 years experience in the research work about the air pollution, the weather dynamics, the modeling, the boundary level, etc. So, getting back a little bit to the problem, what Emilio have said, and to make the people going to point E to point B with the most effective, fast, and less environmental way, let's speak about the problem globally. This is 3 facts which have arrived for last 5 years, in 2014 and 2016, from World Health Organization and the World Bank. I hope not everybody knows that, but 1 in 10 deaths in the world is linked to the air pollution right now. 92% of the people worldwide, according to the World Health Organization report, is living in the bed in the areas with the air pollution. And the losses for the world economy according to the effects of the air pollution is more than $4 trillion. That's a really huge money. And what's with the solutions and how local actions look right now in 2019? Our POC took start in Madrid. It's a big city with a really good infrastructure. They have 41 measurement points of air pollution. They have different levels of action defined and different scenarios to act. They even have eco-traffic to manage the traffic in the city. But there is two problems. First problem, we have the missing link between air pollution and the traffic. And these two things are linked together. And even in 2019, right now, we have the missing link together in the big cities in the world. And the second link, this is the actions that are taken in Madrid as are reactive and not proactive. The reason is as soon as air pollution is coming already in the city and there is already a problem, only after this city begins to do something. And our goal is to move the reactive to proactive. And the big data and what we do at Aerostate helps to change reactive to proactive. Speaking a little bit about the technology behind, we collect a lot of data, traffic data, data from monitoring station, and thanks Esti and the Kapsch team to help us to integrate this data from Madrid city to our platform. We use satellite imagery and a lot of other data. By the way, it's more than 1 terabyte of data per day we collect, analyze, and transfer. On the second step, we do modeling and receive the map of the air pollution, distributed air pollution, with the forecast of 48 hours. And then we do machine learning or artificial intelligence supervising to make this data more accurate. What is in black box? It's Aerostate thing. And then we do integration to eco-traffics, and it's one more time to thank for the Esti team, which managed it really good. So, eco-traffics powered up by Aerostate provides 48 hours pollution forecast for 7 companies. They provide the feature that's where authorities can act before hard and not like right now, and be more proactive instead of reactive. If we're speaking about on a global stage, because Esti said that right now eco-traffics operates only in 17 cities, but in 17 cities it's only 3 regions: Latin America, Europe, and North America. I have it in the presentation 19, but it's my fault. Yeah, but if we see on the global stage how many cities we have the 3 things: the traffic problem, the air pollution problem, and the infrastructure, where the problem could be already solved. This is more than 350 cities that could be potential customers of Kapsch powered up by Aerostate. So we offer to the cities, we call it win-win-win solution, where city wins because first, they have the good solution, eco-traffics combined with Aerostate, and the citizens begin to live in more healthy conditions. Kapsch wins because first, our feature could engage the interest to eco-traffics, to acquire new customers, and to add the new feature to the current customers. And Aerostate wins because we are the providers of this data, and we will be really happy to work together with Kapsch. So speaking about what we have been done together, we have the small presentation, small video, how the behavior of the operator sitting in Madrid, how can he manage and see the current situation and provide for the authorities the real-time information, not the real-time, the information in some time. In the video, it will be 17 hours before the pollution comes to the city of Madrid. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My mistake, it was 19 cities, actually. Okay. we're going to see a use case. As Evgeny said, normally in many cities, actions are taken once the thresholds of air pollution are reached. Now, we have here, the operator can still check the status of the traffic flows on one side, on the right and on the left. Operators can see how the air quality is now, in 6 hours. It looks green, well, not too bad. But apparently, later in 24 hours, it's going to turn yellow. It's going to be worse. So they can go to a detailed, the tab for the detailed analysis. And in there, they can see the map with the same color code. And they can analyze the evolution. How is it going to be in the next hour by hour up to 48 hours? Go in the map to the points where the situation is worse to see how the levels are going to be there, and can also check for specific pollutants, specifically NO2 or particle matters, the ones that come from vehicles especially. And based on that, seeing that in this case the situation in 17 hours is going to get worse for air pollution, they can go back to Ecotraffic and launch another feature that Ecotraffic has, which are the plans. So they can directly beforehand launch a specific protocol of actions according to whatever the city policies are to try to prevent this spike from happening in 17 hours. So this is what we've done for the moment, and we think this is a very, very useful tool for cities, and they will find it really interesting to use and to see how they can improve the air quality for their citizens. So our next step here is going to be to find a city, put this in place, and get the feedback from real users, how they found it, which features are necessary or unnecessary, and improve this integration that we have done in the proof of concept.
And hopefully at the end of the year, be ready to market the product fully integrated into Ecotraffic for forecasting in the entire world and the footprint that we already have in Latin America, North America, and Europe. So thank you very much for your time. Bye.
Thank you.
So the first team presenting showed you how to save your data. The second showed you how to save, let's say, your breath, or maybe even a little more than that. So no pressure on the third team. However, I think they'll manage. The company is called DerQ, and the jury member presenting the opening words for DerQ is called Laurent Dancho. Welcome on stage.
Thank you. Thank you very much. As part of the jury, I'm happy to introduce you to DerQ. DerQ is a startup that has the mission to enable smarter roads and safer roads with using artificial intelligence and V2X technology. So when looking to the road safety in the future, you see that the urban population will increase. So as projected by the UN Department of Economics and Social Affairs, more than 68% of the world population will live in urban areas by 2050. This implies that the amount of vulnerable road users like cyclists or pedestrians will increase, and this requires solutions to protect them. So this is the reason why also we see a growing number of initiatives for cooperative ITS solutions. So when looking over the world, you see in Europe 43 cities getting ready for V2X deployments. In more than 18 countries, V2X is already deployed on the roads. That's the same also in North America. When you look into more than 50 cities committed to eliminate road accidents and to increase road safety. And this is also reflected by the more than 70 projects in North America that are already running. So This is essential also for Kapsch, for the V2X team, to develop solutions that protect the road users. And this is the reason why DerQ, with the technology, is a very good match to extend this solution. So Barbara Hollinger from the V2X team in Vienna, being responsible for business development, is the lead mentor for the POC for DerQ. And she's going to present the technology in more detail. And afterwards, DerQ is going to present the results of the POC. So.
Thank you, Laurent. Good evening, everybody. I hope you're not falling asleep already. One more to go, then there will be the break. So, in our team in Vienna at Kapsch TrafficCom, we're focusing on V2X technology. V2X stands for vehicles to everything. So this means vehicles communicating with vehicles and with the infrastructure. This basically provides a layer of communication between all the vehicles, as you can see in the picture here, for safety-related purposes. So they can receive and send messages in real time to prevent accidents. But in this equation, a very important part of road users was not being accounted for. The vulnerable road users, as Laurent already said, like pedestrians and cyclists. So basically, every day in the media, you can see that there are pedestrians or cyclists being killed in urban intersections. Even in Vienna, there was a case of a 9-year-old boy that had to die because a truck driver didn't see him early enough. Also, in the future, this problem won't disappear because also self-driving vehicles will be facing the same problem. So, throughout our POC, together with DerQ, we have been looking for a solution to solve this problem. So, by integrating our V2X solution, consisting of a roadside unit and an onboard unit in the car, adding a camera to it, and integrating both solutions, the solution of DerQ, the DerQ brain basically, they're using an AI platform and machine learning to predict the pathways of vulnerable road users, such as cyclists or pedestrians. So with this solution, it is actually possible to detect the pedestrians and the cyclists early enough to send real-time warnings to the cars to actually brake and not run over them. So you can lean back now and relax and watch the video about what we've done, and afterwards I'll introduce you to the startup. A camera detects pedestrians and cyclists that are on the road but might not be seen by the driver of the vehicle directly. This data is then processed by the DerQ brain, and real-time alerts are sent to the driver. In urban areas, there can be plenty of blind spots and obstacles obstructing a driver's view. To avoid an accident in a situation like this, the pedestrian can be detected by the camera and the driver can be alerted real-time before actually seeing the person on the road. Cycling through dense traffic can be very risky as cyclists can hardly be seen. By alerting the driver of the car early enough that they are able to brake safely, emergency stops can be avoided. Together, Kapsch TrafficCom and DerQ are able to make traffic at intersections safer and more efficient for all road users involved. Let me now introduce you to the CEO and co-founder of DerQ, Dr. Georges Audet.
Thank you, Barbara. So we are DerQ, we're a global MIT spin-off and Texas Mobility alum. We develop leading AI to eliminate road crashes, and we are expert in understanding road users, their behaviors and their intents, and we benefit cities, we benefit road authorities, connected vehicles and autonomous vehicles. We've raised more than $3 million, and we have live programs in the US, in Europe, and in the Middle East. DerQ has been recognized as a leading AI startup and leading smart city startup across the world. Last year alone, we've been fortunate to be recognized as the top AI startup in South by Southwest, also the top smart city startup in Detroit Auto Show, and also we are very proud to be one of the Factory1 winner for this year. So at DerQ, we've developed a real-time predictive AI platform that integrates sensors and connected infrastructure to provide advanced V2X collision avoidance applications and road traffic analytics and safety heat maps. So how does the DerQ brain work? Let me show you what's happening behind the scenes. Our AI is working hard to detect, track, and predict the intent of every driver, pedestrian, cyclist, or scooter. Like you see in this video, the box goes from green to red when we predicted their intent ahead of time, before they even cross. We also are predicting multiple road users, so cyclists and pedestrians, and as well as bicycles doing mid-block crossing, as well as late at night when someone is crossing, we're also able to do this prediction in real time. Barbara has provided us with a great overview of the POC. I will give some more details about how we solved it and some of the technical background. So the problem the use case we solved is how to assist a vehicle doing a right turn in an urban area with a lot of pedestrians and cyclists around. This is a challenging maneuver. And I'm sure that many of us would think that it would be much better if every time our kids are crossing those roads, we know that someone is watching. They are watching them and is alerting every car, bus, or truck that they are around, they are present. Is this possible? Yes. Today, for the first time in the world, there is a solution with DerQ and Kapsch that have developed it here in the last 4 months. In the last 4 months, our teams have developed, have installed, and tested the solution here in Tiesdorf outside Vienna. And you see here the teams installing the sensors, installing the roadside unit, and installing the DerQ brain. Let me give you some of these successful demonstrations we've done together on the roads. And those are challenging use cases, each with their own different flavors. So the first one, we have both a driver and a pedestrian with right-of-way. Now, the pedestrian is distracted, but they are also invisible to the driver because of this parked car, or you can think of it as a broken car. Our AI is able, as you can see here, to detect this dangerous situation, provide an alert, and avoid this potential collision. Now, going to another use case. This is a demo where the driver has the right-of-way, but the pedestrian is not following the rule. He doesn't have the right-of-way, what we call jaywalking. Not only the pedestrian is jaywalking, they're also distracted and putting themselves in a very vulnerable position. Now, with the DerQ and Kapsch solution, we're able to avoid a rear collision situation. Finally, we are not only protecting pedestrians, we're also protecting cyclists. In this demonstration, both the driver and the cyclist have the right-of-way. And what you can see, our system is able to detect and predict the trajectory of the cyclist, knowing that it might be colliding with a turning vehicle, and give them enough time to slow down and avoid a collision. Now I will hand over to Barbara, who will give us some highlights of our commercial progress. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Yeah, so I think we can actually say the POC was a success as the solution is working and I was not run over by the car when acting as a stunt cyclist. Yeah, now I'm actually very pleased to announce that we will continue our collaboration together with DerQ. We are already working on 2 opportunities in the US and in Latin America, where we have some interested Kapsch customers that would like to have our solution in their cities. And in parallel to that, we are also evaluating a joint product development to actually integrate the systems a lot tighter and have a unique solution for the market. So I'll now hand over back to Laurent for his final words.
Thank you. So from my perspective, this was a great example of how Factory1 brought innovation into our solution. I also see that the POC was a success. I would like to thank the whole team from DerQ and from Kapsch for the commitment and for the results, especially to you, Barbara. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. Now, two things from that was lovely and heartfelt. Thank you so much. Not. However, we're going to go to startup number 4. You know the drill. That's exactly what we're going to do. They're called Bestmile, and for that, I would like to ask the jury member, Mr. Peter Ummenhofer, on stage. There he is. Give it up for him.
So, good evening, everybody. I'm Peter Ummenhofer, heading the Solution Center Intelligent Mobility Services. And it's a pleasure to introduce Bestmile to you, the next startup in the Factory1 program. And it's the third startup which falls in the area of smart urban mobility. Emilio early on said that urban solutions are very important for us. And sorry, I have to press this slide. And I want to show you one picture we have created in our strategy program, the Strategy 2020, which has been mentioned by Emilio already. And we created kind of an iconized city, and this picture was guiding us through the whole strategy process. And basically it says that we as Kapsch TrafficCom have the vision that we want to be able to provide to our customers or future customers, the cities, the municipalities in particular, a solution which helps them to seamlessly manage traffic and mobility in their city environment. So we want to be able to have all the different systems and bits and pieces in place in an integrated manner so that cities can best optimize, in a best and optimized form, manage traffic and mobility. So we are not there yet, I have to admit, but stepwise we are going in that direction, and we decided about 2.5 years ago to invest in a startup called Fluidtime. By coincidence, that startup is based here in Vienna. They provide a so-called MaaS platform, which is MaaS stands for Mobility as a Service, and it's a platform which allows a city to tie together the different transport options, so starting from public transport to conventional private transport like taxis to new forms of transport like shared cars, shared scooters, etc., to integrate all that into a single platform so that the user, the end user, using his smartphone can access all these different options in a very easy and very seamless manner. If cities introduce such a MaaS platform, that's already a great step in the right direction. So it helps a lot to improve mobility. However, in many cases, in many cities, they face the so-called last mile problem. What does that mean? You find areas in cities, take Vienna as an example, if you go to the outer areas, 16th districts where I live, for example, so there might be a bus line which stops at the last station, but you still have a way to go. So this last mile you have to make, either you walk it or you find some other mean. And often there's no mean available because it's commercially not viable to operate something there. Neither a bus line nor a shared something, because also the scooters, as you might have realized, they're only around in the inner district of Vienna, but you don't find them in the outer districts because it's not commercially not viable for those companies to operate them there. That means that the city has to think about a solution for this last mile problem, and this is where Bestmile comes into the game. So more and more cities start to introduce so-called demand responsive transport, basically on-call shuttle services. So they operate, they run shuttle fleets, helping those users who have ended up at a certain place, allowing them to call for this shuttle so that the shuttle picks up the user and brings this to his final destination. So this is what Bestmile is doing with their platform, and it's a perfect kind of a complementary solution to what Fluidtime does, and Brian later on will provide you more details about the POC with this. But basically what we have done, we connected the two platforms in a way that the user using the Fluidtime app, this mobility as a service app, and he can not only access then public transport and the shared scooters, etc., but also those demand responsive transport fleets. So that's what we did. And with this, I'd like to hand over to Brian from Bestmile, who will introduce you the POC in more detail.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Peter, for a warm welcome. I'd just like to say a word about Wolfgang, who's not here tonight. He's ill, but he put a lot of energy into that, and I thank him as well as a number of other people. I'm not going to name them all, but the Factory1 team, you've been great, and a very enriching experience has been the exchange with the other startups, so thank you to the other startups too. Let's move on. Why is sharing important? Here you can see what happens when you use fossils fuel and you transport this many people. That's the amount of vehicles you need. The same thing happens when you have electric vehicles. You still need the same amount of vehicles to move them around. Again, with autonomous, it's not going to revolutionize congestion in our cities. It's only when you share a ride do you go from something like this to something like this. That's one extreme to another. That's not what we're about, but this is definitely the area we're aiming towards. So the proof of concept is centered around sharing and demand-responsive transport. Demand-responsive transport, I'm sure you all know, but just maybe for the one person in the room that doesn't know, it's I call up, I get my vehicle now to go where I want to go. We chose the area of Madrid for a proof of concept, namely because eco traffic is established there and very well established there. We have 3 systems, eco traffics with our Bestmile system and the fluid time mass mobility as a service platform that Peter just mentioned. Shared, again, shared is the key word in here. It's only when you share that you reduce congestion. When you reduce congestion, you improve air quality, you improve public transportation, and that's what's driving us. Integration, as already mentioned, with fluid time and eco traffics. And I think the last point is important. We're looking at 3 stages: before, during, and after. Before is requesting the ride, during is the experience itself, but afterwards, once you've completed your journey, once 100 journeys have been completed, once 1,000 or more journeys have been completed, you have to look back on that and see what was done well and what can be improved. And with both our systems, I think that's something quite visible, and I'll show you that later on. So the storyline behind our use case, 2 people out on the town, going home, last mile connection, which is not working so well. So let me take you through some of the proof of concept here. Here you can see a typical demand responsive application, the front end provided by fluid time. We all know this. You put in where you are, either automatically or manually, and your destination, where you want to go. You come up with a mass platform, mobility as a service platform. You have a number of trips proposed with different mobility options, all linked together in a chain, Bestmile being one of those. With a price, you confirm your booking, and the vehicle is sent on its way. And this is an important part in the step. You can see some of the data in the back-end system. And an important part of the data in the back-end system is how many people can be carried in that vehicle. And that's something we pay particular attention to and match that in real time with other requests for ride in generally the same direction. Typical case is an airplane lands in an airport, 50 people get out and want to go to the city center to possibly more or less the same hotel or hotels in the same area. So sharing here is vitally important. Here you can see some of the data that we have. Here we've got, for example, pickup time, ETAs, and then the historical data as well. So this enables the marketing department in a public transport operator to look back and see, did I actually hit the performance indicators I promised my customers, yes or no? And if I didn't, I can refine that. And that's also an enabler in the system. I better speed up a little bit, I'm talking a lot, but bear with me. This is really good, from my perspective at least. It's as important as Aerostate before, improving the air quality and taking action now, and this is something that we can't ignore. This is something that will improve the lives of people in cities, and as we saw, there's going to be a lot of people living in cities. A snippet out of the fluid time application. Here you can see there's walking involved, there's DRT involved, there's even bicycle sharing involved in the chain from A to B that one would take. And just to reiterate that Bestmile is one part of this. So the ride and what the system actually does is being optimized dynamically. So taking into account what events are going on in the city. When we have to reroute, we get an information from the EcoTraffic system. The Bestmile system is the ride-sharing part of it, and the fluid time business part allows analytics of what's gone on, both on an overall fleet level, but also down to the user level and an account level. So basically, front end here on the smartphone, and a classic route with the capacity in the vehicle being shown on the right-hand side. This is the view that the operator has. So everything is done in real time. All updates are in real time. And that's quite important when you're managing a system like that. If you're requesting a ride and then canceling it, you need to take this into account in real time and not send a vehicle to pick you up if you're not going to need that ride. And that's exactly what we're enabling here. The proof of concept, let me just take you through it. You'll see it more or less for yourselves. This is the situation as it is today. In EcoTraffics, an accident is being registered. So the route that we were going to take is not a favorable route anymore. This is the EcoTraffic system. Accident in place. And this obviously in real time fed into the Bestmile system. And here we can see the ETA moving from 905 to 908. So it's actually taking a different route, but it's avoiding the congestion. So you're not sitting in traffic, you're actually moving towards your destination. And here you can see that the route has been modified for the people to get home. Demand data, as I said before, the past is very important to know what you've done, to discover if what you've been doing is good enough, and if not, you can tweak it again. And that's something we're able to do with the help of our friends at Fluid Time. Here you can see origin destination areas that are quite popular, but you can drill down another level and actually see the number of requests per minute, per hour, per day, per week, whatever is relevant basically for the operator. And this is vital to getting a demand-responsive transport system right. Why? Because there are peak times. We have peak times in traffic early in the morning, late at night, sometimes in the middle of the day. But demand-responsive transport is difficult to get right because it's quite cost-intensive. If you have a driver effectively working and a vehicle effectively working 3 hours in the day, that's not enough to cover the course. We had a look at the city of Chicago because their data is open, and had a look at the taxi data, so pickup, origin and destination locations, and the time stamps involved there. And basically, all the taxi journeys had little more than one person per ride. So we took this data, which is publicly available on the internet, and put it through our platform. We optimize the service. Optimizing the service means more sharing. Also some waiting times, avoiding one passenger per vehicle for most of the time. Sometimes it's unavoidable, but it can be avoided. And increase the waiting time slightly. So maybe you had to wait 4 minutes instead of 3 minutes to get your cab. And that's the sweet spot we were looking for. And basically, we came up with the claim that we can diminish the number of vehicles and drivers by a factor of 10. And that's real costs for a public transport operator. And this is something that we propose when putting a service in place to make sure it's designed right, that the vehicle size is correctly adjusted. As you said, if you're going the last mile, you don't need an 80-seater bus to do that. Maybe a 10-seater bus is enough. And that's the type of information that we take into account and decide during the service delivery. But I think this one is quite a pretty graphic as well. In this limited period of time, the taxi services drove 127,000 kilometers. With optimizing, sharing, and adjusting the service, we can bring that down to half, and I think that's a win for society as a whole. So thank you for your time. And thank you, Peter, for your mentoring during this period.
Brian, thank you very much for presenting this very impressive POC. And in general, I want to say a big thank you to you and the entire Bestmile team for the collaboration, the cooperation within the last couple of weeks and months, the last 4 months. It was great to work together with you, and I think the outcome is quite impressive. Thank you very much for that.
I think that's only the foundation stone.
Right. Thank
Peter,
you very much.
Thank you.
So I'd like to briefly summarize and provide a bit an outlook. So what are our plans around Bestmile? As you could see, it's quite an impressive and a powerful solution we could provide to the cities jointly with Bestmile, solving the last mile problem as introduced in the beginning. And we are working on first opportunities jointly together already. We are working on bits, for example, in the Middle East. There would have been an interesting project in Austria even, but that was a bit too early for this partnership, unfortunately. So quite promising, and we want to work together in form of a partnership on a case-by-case basis. So whenever there's an opportunity where a customer is asking for a MaaS platform plus a demand-responsive transport platform or fleet management platform like provided by Bestmile, we want to work hand in hand and inform each other when there is such an opportunity and hopefully then start to make business jointly. So all in all, from our perspective, by our I mean from a fluid time perspective, from a solution center IMS perspective, a quite positive program, a very successful program. And I also like to take the opportunity to thank the entire Factory1 team for making this happen, did a great job to plan this, to coordinate that. Simrit, Markus, with the entire team, thank you very much for this. This was great and a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. That was number 4. We've got one more to do, and just to kind of recap, we've seen how to protect data. We've seen how we have to fight pollution. We've found out what we have to do to save the lives of cyclists and children. And right now, we've seen how cities can become even more time and cost efficient. So no pressure on the 5th team. However, they'll deliver. They're called ObjectBox. And the jury member's called Jochen Nowotny. Welcome on stage, Jochen Nowotny. Give it up for him.
So, good evening, everybody. Now we're entering the world of railways. And we start with FRMCS, difficult abbreviation. It stands for Future Railway Mobile Communication Systems. The reason I'm telling you this is a 5G-based broadband communication network developed for railways. And it's not just a replacement for GSMR, where we are the leader for, but it is the essential enabler for digitalization in the railways. Now, we know that railways are operating a mission-critical infrastructure. And entering the age of digitalization requires solutions that are built with a mission-critical mindset. We are contributing to this with our industrial IoT solution, the Cube, which, for example, allows for predictive maintenance of infrastructure assets. And when doing this solution, developing the solution, we were coming across ObjectBox. And we saw it with their database and especially the synchronization. When you go into edge computing, the synchronization across devices, this could be the perfect underlying technology for us. So we entered the proof of concept, a good proof of concept, and Sebastian, our lead mentor, will go into details now.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you, Jochen, for the introduction. What was the POC about? We wanted to have ObjectBox integrated into our Kapsch solution in order to create a joint product to serve the railway markets. And we wanted to have it benchmarked too. So for us, the performance was really important, and Vivian will show the results in a second. Before that, let me briefly give you an overview about the current challenge the railways are facing, and of course the Kapsch solution. So whenever you talk about solutions, you have to understand the customer pains. And here are some. Railways are working with mission-critical data, so the data needs to be secured. Sometimes they're facing poor connectivity. So when, for instance, using public network. At the moment, there's barely a real-time remote controlling of their assets in case something is broken. They have an unharmonized system because all their assets or objects are not connected. And due to the fact they don't know the status of their assets, they have high operational costs. In fact, it looks like this. So you see the guy at the track, probably he walks himself and look whether there's something broken. The same on the train, and actually nothing goes right in the center to the back office. So that was actually for us the situation where we thought with our solution, with our Kapsch solution, we can really support this railway environment, if you like so. And actually, internally, we call it Cube. So it is a mission-critical end-to-end IoT platform which supports data collection and data transfer. So actually, from the sensors to the application system, sent to the back office where they can analyze this. And of course, due to that fact, we create certain benefits. Number one, operational efficiency optimization, of course. We provide a harmonized IoT system, so every object and every assets are connected. We allow timely decision making. They can control their assets. Of course, we are an enabler for smart predictive maintenance and have a 5G capability. So you remember the picture I have shown you? With our solution, it looks like that. You see, you have the cube on the tracks, which perfectly gives the situation over the sensors, collecting the data, sends it to the middle, to the back office, and the guys can analyze it, and even can transport it to the track stuff via mobile phone. The same you have on the train, and even if you want to check the condition in a tunnel right over there, you don't have to send people to risking their life. However, ladies and gentlemen, to make this whole thing working, you need a database, actually a data storage center, in order, and it needs to be fast data transport. It needs to have this synchronization solution, which Jochen earlier mentioned, and it needs to work best case offline. So today I have the honor to welcome Vivian. Vivian, please come up.
Thank you. We have smartphones, smart coffee machines, smart earrings, smart nail polish. Everything is smart from trains, tracks, and tunnels, right? Wrong. Actually, many industries, including railways, are not yet smart. They're not even digital. They don't have the data. They don't know what's going on. For railway operators, this means higher operational costs, lower passenger safety, and also a bad customer experience. The Kapsch IoT railway solution solves this. And ObjectBox is the underlying technology that enables companies to implement smart solutions from sensor to server. Now, for example, there could be a tree. If it were to fall on the tracks, these sensors can be smart enough to understand that something has happened that needs fixing. No train can pass. However, you probably spotted the problem. If the data is stuck here, it's still useless, right? That's why ObjectBox takes care of synchronizing the data, making it readily accessible where needed, when needed. ObjectBox is 10 times faster than any alternative solution. It's uniquely designed to sit on any IoT device from sensor to server, and it comes with a super fast out-of-the-box synchronization solution. This is why already more than 150,000 developers trust in ObjectBox. We integrated ObjectBox in the Kapsch solution, and we benchmarked it against the alternative existing solution. Now, let's have a look at the results. Round 1, database performance. I'm happy to say we were 13 times faster than the alternative. This, just to give you a feel of the pain we are solving, using the alternative solution is like telling a joke and getting this reaction. Painful, right? Even more painful when this means a cost in passenger safety, or high penalty fees, or expensive repairs. Round 2, synchronization performance. In 1 second, ObjectBox synchronizes more than 37,000 objects. And the alternative? 400. Now, this is not just about speed. This is a huge cost factor, because while the alternative empowers about 10 devices with 1 server, ObjectBox can empower 100 with 1 server. Round 3, CPU and memory consumption. Now, all hardware comes with limited CPU and memory. This means all applications running on the device need to share these resources. ObjectBox, I'm happy to say, only uses 4% of this precious CPU power, whereas the alternative uses 89%, nearly all of it. This means with ObjectBox, you can do more complex computing on the same device as opposed to the alternative. In sum, I think it is fair to say that ObjectBox adds a competitive edge to the Kapsch IoT railway solution. And if anyone is interested in the details, I'm happy to walk you through later on. Now, the great strength of ObjectBox really is that it is a horizontal technology that can add value to a lot of industries, like Industry 4.0, smart mobility, smart cities. For example, in car tolling, ObjectBox can verify license plates faster, making sure no violator slips, saving money, giving you a better customer experience. On the factory floor, we can process hundreds of images per second on-site at the machine level, detecting any quality issues as they occur. And for example, in the smart elevator, we can process thousands of data points per second, detecting anomalies and making sure the elevator is maintained before it breaks. Some of the solutions I just mentioned are already working, some are in the future. Kapsch is bringing digitalization to a lot of different industries, and ObjectBox is the perfect technology partner to bring this digitalization from sensor to server to these companies. I'm happy to talk to each and every one afterwards. Just come up to me, I will be at the booth or around. Thank you, and last not least, thank you very much to our amazing mentors, Sebastian and Jochen, and obviously every one of the, I say whole Kapsch family. I don't only mean you guys, because it feels very much like being part of a family, and this is something we as a startup came to appreciate greatly. Thank you.
Yeah, Thank you, Vivian, too. It was a great work together. Everything worked really well, considering from Munich to Austria, even over France. So great team spirit. We made that really happen. And that's why it's relatively easy for me. We have successful POC. We have incredible results. We have shown that even on our relatively new solution, it perfectly fits. So we're looking forward if there's any projects coming up within the Kapsch Group. And I hope that especially they can then leverage from our experience we have had. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. Now, those were all 5, and what did you think? Was okay? Yeah? Good. Now, Vivian just did part of my job. She said, come and see me later on at the booth, and that's your big opportunity after this is over to have a look at all 5 startups at their booth, which is somewhere over there, I believe. Now, you can do that either then or afterwards at the after party at 2200 hours at Stadtcafé. That was a Stadtbar. That was a bit of a cheesy Überleitung, as they say in German, but however, I had to do it, and I felt like doing it. However, now I got your feedback, but I'm quite interested to see some other feedback as well. And for that, I would like to get 2 people, one back on stage and one on stage for the first time today. Please, I'd like to get back Mr. Georg Kapsch and Mr. Markus Handel. Please, gentlemen, join me on stage. Okay. Good. Well, that's, look at them. They're putting on their suits again because they want to look right. It's very warm, but it kind of...
yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, however.
Celebrations
that's
require that.
That's the right way to do it.
The boss decides upon the dress code.
If the boss leads by example, we'll have to follow. Let's talk to the boss. Are you happy? Did you enjoy yourself?
Certainly. It was great. It was great, but it was just the beginning of the evening.
And your overall impression? What do you think of the startups you saw?
My overall impression, I'm deeply impressed by all of the startups and the mentors. And I again want to thank everybody who has participated on both sides, on the startup side as well as on the Kapsch side.
Thank you very much. Markus Handel, same question to you. You seem to be smiling, so that's probably a good sign. What's your impression and what's going to happen? What's going to be the outcome of what we've just seen?
I would like to say I'm literally almost blown away about this evening and the entire Factory1 program. And you know what made it so special? And Mr. Kapsch already said it at the beginning. It's the passion. The passion which came from the CEO over the executive board to the jury members, the mentors, not only the lead mentors, but also the operative mentors, and of course also to the startups. And for me, Factory1 was another proof of concept that Kapsch is a company with passion.
Very clear.
Well, may I just... Thanks, Markus.
Yeah, your company.
Yeah.
And yours.
Yeah. May I just add, you know, it's all about people, and it's all about passion. And in the end, and that's where we find the connection between the startups and industrial enterprises, it's about operational excellence.
Well said. No, you have to deliver at the end of the day.
I owe you an answer to your second question.
You do, yes.
So I would like to summarize the outcome of Factory1 with 3 figures. 5, 3, 3. 5 means we will enter proactively and actively in partnerships with all 5 startups. We have identified concrete customer projects where we are already partly preparing bids with 3 of them. And with 3 of them, we have a strong interest to enter into a discussion about an equity participation.
Ooh.
But that does not mean that we are not interested in the other 2, but they don't need money.
So you're at the wrong time.
That sounds quite promising, so I can see smiles around. Gentlemen, I only have one more job to do, and that's to hand over the stage to the two of you, because you will be giving something to all of the startups. So
absolutely. So what we would like to do is we would like to ask now to come each startup together with the lead mentor to the stage. We have something for you to hand over, and we will ask one after the other, and please join us. I start with Exeon Analytics, and we have the CEO, David Kugelmann. We have the business development responsible person, Carola Hook, and we have the lead mentor, as we already seen, Sinan Tankac.
Wer kriegt das? Well, thank you very much. Yeah? Good, huh?
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So, one for Carola, thank you very much. And one for you, Sinan, thank you very much. Pleasure. Please, remain at the stage, and if you could move over. First the photo. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we move here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please stay at the stage.
Thank you.
So the next one, if you can move over a little bit, Aerostate, please. So Aerostate represented by Evgeny, the CEO, and by Ruslan, the CTO. And give our best regards also to your colleague Dimitri, which could not join us today. And we have the lead mentor, Esti, from KTT or KTC in Spain. Thank you very much. Flowers.
I go to the other side again.
Thank you. Esti, thank you very much. Great job. And you get two. Come move over. Thank you. Please stay at the stage. Next one, DerQ. From DerQ, we have seen George, the CEO, already today. We have Amer, the CTO, today. And please, our best regards to your CTO, Karl, which did not attend today. And we have the lead mentor, Barbara Hollinger. Thank you. Barbara, thank you.
A very beautiful lie that I've been told. Yours is the one that I like the most. Yours is the one that I hold so close. Give up the ghost, give up the ghost, give up the ghost.
Bestmile with the business development manager, Brian Kelly. Where is he? Hi, Brian. Give our best regards, please, to your CTO, Marco Laumans. And we have the lead mentor, Wolfgang Brückler, which unfortunately could not attend today because he got sick, but Peter Umenhofer in a double role, lead mentor. Please pass it on to Wolfgang.
Thank you, sir.
Over there? So, last but not least, ObjectBox. We have seen an astonishing performance of the CEO, Vivian Dollinger, and we also have, unfortunately not with us today, Alicia, because she got sick on the way here. She was suffering so much from the heat. Please, our best regards to her. And we have Sebastian as the lead mentor. Yeah, absolutely. That's for you. Sebastian. Again? Back. Stay. Now I would like to proceed with the jury. We have already one person here, Peter Umenhofer. We have two more today, and we have seen them. So please join me, Laurent Dancho and Jochen Nowotny.
Danke, Herr Dancho.
I would like to thank those jury members which unfortunately could not attend today's event. We have seen actually Jochen Borenich and Emilio Rivas, which had to leave earlier because they have customer commitments. In addition to that, we have Chris Murray, our CEO in North America, which participated as a jury member. We had Alfredo Escriba, which is the CTO of KTC, and we have Bernard Lamy from KTC France, which also participated. Thanks to them, even if they could not make it tonight. We will hand it over to them. So, but what would all of that be without a tremendous team? And I'm so proud to ask my team now on the stage, and I start with our charming project manager, Simrit Sandhu. Thank you. Thank you. Conny Wolf, please. Daniela Tanicero. No, wait. Alexander Oborny. And the last one of my team, you have to present, Troy.
No.
No, you have to.
No.
No, I mean, it was really a big contribution.
He's in your team.
Thank you very much. Jacob Kapsch. So we will make one picture now. Please stand or stay on the stage for some more minutes. day. But what would all of that be without people supporting us, mostly people in the background? There's a couple of them which I would like to mention. We have, firstly, we have, and please join us on the stage as well, we have from Akoi, our program support partner, the senior partner, Thomas Werner, and the program manager, Camilla Reinhardt. Please join us. We have from our partner who helped us in sourcing the startups, pioneers, we have Francisco Rubino, who hopefully made it today. Hi, Francisco. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have Matchmaker Ventures, which helped us with the sales workshops, and hopefully we have at least 2 out of them, if not 3. We have Nikolai, the CEO. We have Lorenz Fercher, the Senior Director. And we have Karin Carpenter. Thank you. The technical support. Thank you very much to Michael Kurzweil from Präsentationsart. We have our photographer, and now what you're doing in parallel is Martin Hermandiger. And we have Büro Wien, which helped us on event management with Benjamin on the one hand side and Bojana. Please. So, and we had dozens of colleagues in all of the Kapsch organization which helped us throughout this program. We want to mention 2 departments specifically because they really did a great job, and I want to thank the team around Alf Nettek from marketing, and I would like to ask to come to the stage Petra Hamfirtner, which helped us on the event management. Markus Kahner on public relations. Bert Altmann on digital marketing. And Stephanie Wedening on social media. And finally, our legal department, the team around Alexander Jurovsky. Oh, hello, sir. Please. Our legal department. Wait, I would have flowers for you, but I mean, the legal department around Alexander Jurovsky, which is on vacation today. Then we have Martin Karoli and Max Ertl, which helped us. Thank you very much. And last but not least, Daniel Cronin, who was the master of the ceremony, and you made such a great job, and we were all impressed how agile you were, and we thought you need a special gift. I hope on your next performance you will wear them.
Thank you very much.
Look at that.
Thank you. Let's see what it is. Helmet. It's not a helmet. Oh.
Kapsch, thank you. And now, George, please. It's all over. our job is done. Please close Factory1 2019.
Okay, closing something is not a nice job to do. But anyway, it was a great job and is an everlasting job. So we are not at the end. We are at the end of the first phase. And during the preparation of tonight, you asked me, will we go for a third term in Factory1? And we were talking about innovation within the Kapsch Group. And we said, okay, we now did 2 times of external innovation, but now it's going to be more concentrated on entrepreneurship, not entrepreneurship, but entrepreneurship. So we want to foster the entrepreneurs within our organization. Anyway, I can assure you that this was not the last Factory1. There will certainly be a third one, but we think we need to combine internal and external innovation sources, because this, in the end, really makes us successful. Thank you to everybody, and enjoy the evening.
Martin, where's our photographer? Stay. Martin Hermandinger. Where is Martin gone? Our photographer is gone. Here you are, please. So now that's going to be a challenge how you do it, but that's up to you. Now it's party time. Enjoy and have fun. Thank you.